Okay, we just finished up the last one with a total of 7 OSs. Okay, again, remember when I stated we need 8 OSs? The total of ours together, we have a total of 7 OSs. So the examination here, we have 9, we had 2 BAs. Okay, and remember we can count this OS up here, but that's 1. We have 2 BAs. Okay, and then that's 3, and then we had 6 here. So that would give us 7 total OSs, 9 total. Okay, here it says 8 plus, but remember when I said that if you're doing a comprehensive exam, it has to be just OSs at 8 plus. So anything with BAs and OSs together has to put me in the detailed. So our examination right now is detailed. Okay, so let's go back here. We're going to go back to my audit tool that I was using. And again, use whatever audit tool that you feel comfortable with. Okay, so remember we have a comprehensive history. Okay, we hit that. So we just did, whoops, sorry about that. We just did our exam. We got a detailed exam, and this is pretty much close to what you're doing already. I just like my little exam audit tool because it gives you the breakdown here at the bottom of the OSs, that type of thing. So let's go, we'll come back to the decision making. I want to just get circled on the last sheet. So if you're printing this off, this should be your 4th sheet. Okay, so once again, we know that we are in initial observation. So we have a comprehensive history. Our exams are detailed. Okay, so guess what? Requires 3 components within a shaded area. Well, each of these are shaded. So at this point, I can't get anything higher than a 99218. All right, so it doesn't matter if my decision making's a high. We are going to run through decision making, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's go back to decision making and go through that. Let's go through A first. Okay, number of diagnosis or treatment options. I always like to tell students, go in the impression, the assessment, where all the diagnoses are. So this patient here, she has acute diarrhea. This is a new problem to the examining physician, correct? Okay, so with this, you have to kind of look, are they doing any more to this? They did labs, okay, they did a stool, it was negative. So with this, we're just going to say new problem, no additional workup. So you're going to put a 1 here. Okay, so look at here. So 1 times 3, max I can have is 3. So you're going to put 3 here. So hopefully you're writing this in. So again, we can only have 1 new problem with no additional workup. Okay, I do not know her renal function is like. I suppose that her kidney function will improve with hydration. She does have metabolic acidosis secondary to diarrhea. Okay, so here I always kind of look, you know, in the past history, and I'm not seeing metabolic or acidosis. We're going to say this is a new problem, but again, we can have another new problem with no additional workup. Chronic renal failure. Okay, this is an established problem. All right, with this related to her lupus, so that's another problem. So again, with that, we are just going to just put stable. So we are going to put down renal failure 1 related to lupus. Lupus is another diagnosis. So right now we have 2 here. Okay, so we have 2 here. And we also have very uncontrolled hypertension. Okay, so with that, that's established problem and it's worsening. Okay, so 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, I'm sorry, 1 times 2 is 2 here because we have 1 worsening the hypertension. We have 2 up here, so 2 times 1 is 2. So we have a 2 here, a 2 here, a 3 here, so that's 3, 5, 7. Okay, right there we have 7 total in our A, number of diagnosis. Now we got to take our A to right here, number of diagnosis management option, which is extensive. It's pretty easy to get an extensive here. Okay, so now we got to go back to B, the risk. Okay, so with this, when I'm looking at that, let's just talk about it here. We have extensive data to review. We have multiple labs, ordered renal ultrasound, abdominal x-ray, MRA being ordered, O2 sats, okay? So with this, you're going to look down here. We have one or more chronic illness with, again, progression, side effects, acute or chronic injury. So we are going to have a high level here. So high level of risk, okay? And then the last one here is going to be more of our orders. We have a lot of these, and you circle what's done, which again, this is going to take us right here. Highest risk, high. Diagnosis, amount of complexity of data, extensive. So our MDM is going to go down here to a high. Okay, but remember, we have comprehensive, our exams just a detailed, but our decision making's high. But I have to drop all the way down here because of our exam. If we had a comprehensive exam, we could go ahead and code the highest observation care. Okay, except I have to go to a 99218. Okay, a couple of things to keep note, what I always tell students, whatever audit tool you decide to use, the first thing you need to do is look to see what you're coding. Okay, so case 120 was observation. Okay, so if we go back to case 119A, that's an office visit. One thing to remember with office visits, okay, if they don't say initial, new, first time, you assume that that patient's established. Okay, so up here, I have my established office visits. Okay, keep that in mind. Over here, my new, and you can see here, new patients right here. Okay, the other thing is ER is kind of a thing of their own. They have their own little thing. So if I'm doing an ER audit, I'm going to be circling this here. My detailed history, because keep in mind with the ER, it's harder to get those histories. Okay. Again, it's going to prompt for a higher level of service. So ER detailed is going to go here. So if I have a detailed ER history, a detailed ER exam, and a moderate decision making, my ER visit is going to be a 99284. Okay, so again, these are just different things for this area. Outpatient consults, inpatient consults, same thing. Excuse me, but I know we've gotten rid of those. Okay, we also got rid of subsequent inpatient consults, so go ahead and don't worry about them either. We didn't get rid of the subsequent progress notes. Okay, so let's pretend I'm in the hospital. I have my initial care, 99222. Second day I'm in the hospital, it's going to be a subsequent visit. That's what these are. Keep in mind, these are two components within a shaded area. All right, same thing with an established office visit. Go back to your textbook for your CPT book. That will also tell you 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3 key components. So it may be easier to go there to tell you what code you need to pick. Okay, I hope this helped you. Just remember, this is on the last page of that audit tool I used. This is decision making. We have, let's go to A. With decision making, you have A, B, C. Okay, right down here, A, B, C. So with the decision making, once you figure out A, you figure out B, you always go here, doesn't matter, you go to the highest level here. So there's been some controversy on this, especially with prescription drug management. It kind of brings a lot of them to moderate. They're trying to get away from that. So again, see what matches up here. You know, prescription drug management, it has to be that they're really changing the drugs in the hospital or for that visit. It's just not coming in for a hypertension check and say, yep, all your drugs are fine. Okay, that's not prescription drug management. Prescription drug management is you're making changes. So keep that in mind. Okay, and then A. So then we have our diagnosis. this is a nice audit tool. If you like the one that, you started off with Amanda, that's fine. Again, you can re-listen to these videos twice. I hope this helps. Let me know if there's any questions.